And it says we're live.
It lies.
All right. Uh, well, Texas weather is drunk again.
Yeah.
Uh,
North of the Mason-Dixon line needs to come down and get its weather. It's in our front yard drunk.
No, Ian hadn't gotten a haircut. It's just, it's the windblown look today.
Oh, I wore a different hat and it clamped my hair down a little more.
Anyway, we're back from our road trip. It was interesting.
It was good.
Yeah. Dill pickle. Oh, hey, Steph, it's not your fault. I missed it too. Yeah. Kindle Land has a paperback as of today.
Oh, and Amazon finally figured out that Rita had two short stories up, so her second one's out if y'all are interested.
Yeah. And Dave Freer just published a new book, Cloud Castles, which is interesting. Hey, Andy, good to see you. Interesting direction for him. I think that's going to be an interesting book to read. I ran out of Brill cream.
Wow. Cops are just today.
It's going to be one of those days.
Great.
Completely horrible accent. Horrible accent.
Horrible.
Yeah. Anyway, we did get tested when we got up to the museum.
No kidding. I'm a little annoyed about that.
Yeah. They have changed the people in charge.
Yeah. Rotating in, rotating out.
Yeah.
New guard, old guard, the whole thing.
So we got tested on our knowledge. Both we did and Jonna did.
Got smoke, and we smoke checked them too.
Yeah. On both counts.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. You brought out the stuff you really don't mind if it gets hammered. That's sweet. Yeah,
and one of the single action Colt that they brought out was a 1982 model.
Yep. Which they thought was
was an old one.
The 1890s.
Yeah.
Got a polymer front sight for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. The curators were not prepared for us.
Not at all. They were a little shocked.
Yeah. And on the way back, I picked up a little toy. It's a Replica Six Shooter made by Pieta in Italy and sold in the U.S. through Traditions. And it's the same weight and heft and design as the original single actions, which the only ones I had were 44, 40, and 45, and I really did not want to hand one of those to a new shooter.
Yep.
So
that 3220 would be great for new shooter.
Yeah. If you can find the ammo, and I ain't paying that much for ammo for some new shooter to shoot.
Cowboy Action has revived 3220 pretty hard.
Yeah, yes and no. It's a minor. You got to shoot 38, 357, or 45 to shoot major with it.
In Cowboy Action?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, identifying a Webley Fosbury as an Enfield. Yeah.
We first came to their attention when I was having a minor hissy fit. For those of you who don't know, Panhandle Plains Museum in Canyon has a fantastic firearms collection.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. And I was up there staring at a pair of Colt double action revolvers, one a Thunderer and one a Lightning. Unfortunately, they had the Lightning on the designation on the Thunderer and the Thunderer designation on the Lightning, and I was yelling for a curator.
Yeah.
And poor Alma, who was taking notes, just
yeah, we drove her nuts.
Yeah, we did.
Slow down. What did you say? Back up. Wait a minute. What's the tag number on that gun? Let me see that damn thing.
Yep.
Yeah, you're lagging. Circle of reloading. Yeah. It's windy here today, so I am not surprised that
YouTube is gerflucking.
Yeah. We may be moving to Rumble. I was looking at that.
Okay.
And also looking at
Alma's actually coming out of her shell a bit.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of nice to see.
Sarah at the museum. Alma was the known entity, and we weren't. So she was actually came to the front and led. And
Then John, I took one look at the test costumes they brought out.
Those weren't costumes.
And started listing before she even got within 5 feet of the dress what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Don't get her started.
The peanut gallery is in full flare.
And we don't have the mic yet for the peanut gallery because of supply issues. So still trying to get that sorted out.
Speaking of issues.
That's okay. We can make ourselves heard. Opera singers. What do we do?
And everybody is in that kind of mood today.
So speaking of issues, for those of you who don't know, LTUE has yesterday issued a statement that they are going far above and beyond in the masking and the vaccination stuff than even the convention hotel is asking for or the state of Utah is requiring. Now, for those of you who don't know, probably most of you don't, I wasn't going to air my dirty laundry, but now I'm annoyed.
Fuck them.
Like I said, I wasn't going to air my dirty laundry. In 2019, I bought 2020 memberships for me and Rita. And then something happened, I forget what, and we wound up not going in 2020. This is how you wind up on not knowing you're on an anthology, by the way.
Yeah.
I figured that they would roll over the membership to 2021, which yeah. So here comes 2021, and it's virtual. And Rita and I don't do virtual conventions very well. We don't do virtual. So we didn't attend. And silly me, I figured, okay, they would roll it over one more year like LibertyCon did, and we would have memberships for 2022. Well, I'm suspicious. So I emailed them an ungodly number of times before somebody finally emailed me back and said, we see that you purchased 2020, but you didn't purchase anything for 2021, so you'll need to buy 2022. And it's like, well, bugger. But I figured it's...
In the 2020 when they didn't have a convention?
Yeah. So I figured, what the hell, money's going to what I consider to be a decent cause. They need it to run the con. Okay. And virtual con cost them money. And I figured, okay, they needed the money. What the hell? Well, then a little after that, I get a email announcing that I was invited to participate and that I would have a schedule and everything and a whole bunch of stuff, which I was like, oh, hell, they went above and beyond. Yay. And then I get one saying, oh, please accept my personal apology for sending that email. You are not actually invited. It's like, well, okay. Cock up before conspiracy. It's run. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the con committee for LTUE is a bunch of college students with a rotating roster. And they're really not sure what they're doing. They're college kids and they're doing their best, but they really don't know what they're doing. So, okay, mistakes will happen. No problem. But it irked me. I was irked. Then yesterday, they make the announcement that you must present proof of vaccination and or a clean no later than 72-hour COVID test before being allowed to the convention. Masks will be worn at all times, except eating, drinking, with the only exemption being the folks up giving their presentations. But as soon as you got behind the table, mask, you see masks, she go back on. No, that was one too far. No, I'm done. So
No, they didn't
on
specify.
Facebook, on Facebook, they didn't. On their web page, they announced strongly that it needed to be 25, but not required. So, and that they would be checking and enforcing.
Actually, it was that you could pull the mask down to drink or take a bite and had to put it back up.
Yep. No.
Scott,
No.
I hate to tell you, but the whether it's student run or non-students, they've gone hard left and gotten stupid.
They have been tending left for a while,
Yeah.
and some folks have been fighting a pretty good rear act, but we were outnumbered.
Yeah.
I haven't discussed it with Rita yet. When they come back to sanity, we may go, but I'm not sure that LTUE is going to be on my list for a while. So
Yeah, French fry dude. Yeah.
if you're expecting to see me at LTUE, sorry, not going to be
And
there.
you won't see me either because I'm half deaf, so I have to lip read.
Yep.
And that is flat friggin' impossible when somebody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, not only does it make a difficult lip read, when half your face is gone, facial expressions are extremely difficult to read.
yeah, Peter, I'm about to the point that I agree with you. LTUE's dead to us.
Peter was one of the folks I wanted to go and meet.
Yeah.
LTUE was great because it was the Western bunch of our little maniacs.
Yeah.
And I got to go up there and meet friends. But it's not going to be worth it.
Peter, you really need to look at coming to Liberty Con.
Yes.
I think you would really enjoy that bunch.
Or TolCon.
Yeah.
As a corollary, we are attempting to assault and hold TolCon for use by friendly forces.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. So we're trying for a pretty heavy troublemaker element at TolCon's very first convention. They may hate us. But we're going to show up with the fun-loving troublemakers and see if we can establish a beachhead before the lefties get in there.
Yeah. Koala, if
What?
you believe everything that's coming up on Google, girl, you need a sanity check.
Duck, duck, go. Don't use Google.
Yeah. Mask make you more attractive to the opposite sex. Yeah, right.
Well, when they can't see your meth mouth.
Yeah.
Speaking of meth mouth, I had a bit of a shock. Long time ago, way back in the Stone Age, I worked the organized crime task force up in the Panhandle, and two of our biggest areas were Amarillo Boulevard and 6th Street. Well, I discovered that there were some antique stores on 6th Street. When we went on our museum crawl, I told Rita and Jonna that there were, antique stores and we should go. And then I jocked up quietly. Got there.
Didn't call me for backup, asshole.
Didn't need to. Wow. Yeah. I was standing there, quite honestly, in a bit of a state of shock. Looking at a street corner where a fairly regular she hooker was her territory, and thinking, damn, that coffee shop looks odd. And other places that have good and bad memories, thinking, damn, because there's coffee shops and antique stores and kitschy craft barbecue joints and quinoa shops and holy crap. Oh, and at 806 Coffee Shop on 6th Street in Amarillo, don't go there.
I'm sorry.
What?
Lady Lark's comment.
Oh, wow.
No.
Damn. Damn.
Girl, you ain't right.
It started out, Rita had to go do the lady thing. And something I've noticed about hippies, and that section of 6th Street is hip deep in hippies. Something I've noticed about hippies is they're not kind people. Every friggin' storefront, absolutely no public restroom. I know why, because I used to work that when it was back when it was Hooker Central. However, and Dope Central and uh, Little Dimes. Holy crap! That was a bad memory. Anyway, off to something else. So she went to the coffee shop to go to the bathroom, and I was looking for her, and she said she's in the coffee shop. So I walked up, and right after I realized that the hooker that I had arrested and dropped off at Waffle House with money for coffee more than once wasn't there, I noticed that they had the DPS issued government decals that DPS sent out to courthouses and hospitals. The 30.6, 30.7 decals, which DPS only sent to schools, government, or governments and hospitals, was on a coffee shop. And then there was this hand sign that said that masks were required because Amarillo was in a red zone and way too many people were getting sick. And then down to the lower right was a sign that said, no public restroom, buy something, you freeloading bastards, or some such. So I go inside because my coffee's okay for foo-foo coffee. Went to the bathroom, and at eye level was a very professionally done graffiti that said, don't support your local rapist. Okay, odd place, but okay. And then down below that, which was really kind of jarring, was a similar professionally done graffiti that said, demons need peace too, which I thought was weird. So I come out of there, thought, what the hell, knocked on the ladies' room, no answer, opened it to look around with a yelp from the cashier, sir, did you just assume my gender? Oh, wait. So I looked in there, and would you believe that there was none of that style of graffiti in there? Odd. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, and we took Jonna to Waffle House for her first time.
Yes, that was great. She fell in love with Waffle House.
Yeah. Whether you love Waffle House or hate them, you get exactly the same food wherever you go.
You're not going to get anything different.
Best hangover breakfast ever.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
We never did get to play Cards Against Humanity.
No, we didn't.
I've never played that. So,
Hey, DW, good to see you.
they've cut
Comments are going nuts
Are they,
today.
the one on Coulter Street is just a short distance away from the police academy. So when I was going to the police academy, we'd get out of there at 10:30 or 11. We'd do a study session in the parking lot, and then we'd head over to Waffle House for chow before going home. I love me some Waffle House. However, they've cut down the options for the hash browns, which I was kind of shocked.
Well, it's everybody else is having shortages. They got them
Oh,
too.
yeah, I know. You just don't think of Waffle House as having shortages.
Yeah, they're suffering the same as everybody else is.
And you had the standard Waffle House waitress, one each.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, we ate pretty good this weekend.
We
No,
really
no.
had this weekend.
Kidding. I must have put on 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's like, I think we need to go for a walk.
No kidding.
Yeah, Josh, we can pretty much screw up anything given an opportunity.
Well, define screw up. When your screw up is more fun than the actual,
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, when your screw up is more fun than the actual intended result, can you really call it a screw up?
Sean, we went to Saltgrass.
Saltgrass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steak breakfast at 2 a.m. at the Denny's. That was the other one. It was Denny's and IHOP were always the two stops when you were trying to get back to base with a hangover. Unless you were in Hawaii, and then it was Zippy's down on Cam Highway.
The steak breakfast or the steak meal, I don't think at Waffle House they have difference in breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
The steak meal at Waffle House is always good.
Sean, don't ever stop at Big Texan.
No,
That is,
no.
the steaks there are lousy.
Big Texan is a great tourist trap.
Yeah.
The food is entirely secondary.
Yeah, RK, there are so many choices in Amarillo.
Amarillo is a foodie paradise.
But we know Saltgrass, and we could get in there.
Yeah, no kidding.
That was really the problem we had this weekend, was finding restaurants that could take a group of 9.
Yeah.
Steak at a Waffle House, remember shoe leather. Yeah, well, it's
Well,
not their primary.
2 in the morning,
Yeah.
and you have $9 in your wallet, and you're starving.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
And you're hungover or still drunk. Rattle tea snake, yeah. Oh God, men rats.
But I remind myself how much I missed Amarillo. That really is one of my favorite cities. Except for the fucking hippie infestation on 6th Street.
Yeah.
Jesus wept. Holy gods.
Yeah, Peter, mid rats anywhere is always interesting in the military. It can vary from what the hell is this meat in this sandwich to, oh my God, steak? You know.
We took her to Panhandle Plains. Down well, we went to Panhandle Plains. We went to AQHA Museum. And Ms. Jonna blew a couple curators' minds.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at him when I was talking though.
You did not see the size of the eyeballs and the frantic note taking.
I was a little annoyed because I don't need to be tested. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, a new curator, when she's dealing with people she doesn't know at all, and it's like she's presented with a bunch of yahoos like us, you know. But it was really interesting because the dresses that she got out for me to look at were kind of trash. Because when you get somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, they can destroy something really fast just by touching it. And so the first one was pretty, but it was like, okay, I can tell what's happening here. And she doesn't know her fabrics. I mean, I know curator can know everything, but she thinks she knows about textiles, but she really doesn't.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be kind while I was talking about the stuff, but yeah. And identifying what is clearly a 40s dress, a 20s dress was like, this is not a 1920s dress.
Yeah. The other little curator though.
I know she was writing like up a storm. She was just going to town. So I actually sat down and wrote up a little bit about the 2 dresses in particular. The first one and the last lace one. And I have a book I'm going to send to them and thank them. And but that's not unusual. Victorian Albert Museum does the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like, okay, I don't get the pretty stuff until I pass this.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do this.
And then Rita and Jonna went sourcing and apparently robbed the lighthouse to a blind.
Yeah. And I don't go looking for antiques. I've got enough problems and junk that I need to get rid of.
Well, I have learned. They finally beat it into my head. My little lady beat it into my head that antique stores are not a supply source; they're competition. And once she labeled them as competition, the light clicked.
Yeah.
So,
on another note, and since Peter's on here, I want to get to this.
what?
Galaxy's Edge is back up.
Oh, sweet.
I went and checked a link that Peter had put up to Nick Cole. They do not know yet what happened, whether it was an algorithm, malicious within Amazon, one of their wokies, or a hacker that took them down.
Top up before conspiracy.
Yeah. So you take that for what it's worth, but the main thing is Galaxy's Edge Press is back up. But as Peter pointed out, this whole thing with Amazon is time for us to start looking at other options.
Diversity is going to be a good thing. I'm grateful to Amazon.
Yeah.
I've made a bit of money off Amazon. I'm grateful to them. But I look at Amazon the same way I look at Facebook. Facebook's entire purpose is to corral you in a little paddock and control everything that goes in and out. Everything you see, everything that sees you is controlled by Facebook, which sets my teeth on edge.
Yeah.
As soon as my issues are done, I'm gonna leave my Law Dog Facebook page up. I'll probably Zorch my personal Facebook, go back to blogging. I can't right now for reasons, but yeah, time to decentralize.
Yep, Peter, that's a good point. And the COOF has definitely showed us the real powers that be, and they've
it revealed a bunch of people's hands before I think they're ready for those hands to be revealed.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing interesting, RK, we did in fact also stop at Saints Roost
Oh, that's fun.
Museum, and
In Clarendon, Texas.
for a little bitty museum, it's got some nice stuff in there.
It's been more than 10 months, Joshua, because I know exactly when I had to stop blogging.
But the interesting thing was the number and quality of saddles,
Oh, yeah.
and the fact that not only was the owner of the saddle listed, but the maker was listed. Typical of this part of the country, because as important, if not more important, than the person using it.
Because a good saddle is, you have to have a good saddle. If you've got a crap saddle and you're 3 days from water or 3 days from town, and your saddle goes to hell, you're screwed.
Yeah, but you could look, because they had a real McClellan saddle in there, period correct McClellan saddle, fully kitted out with everything. And then you walk into the next room, and here are Western saddles. And the comparison is absolutely stunning if you've never seen the two side by side. But the fun part I was looking at was the saddles that were used for roping and the saddles that weren't. Because the saddles that were used for actual roping, the saddle horns were just wore slap out, or they had rope wrapped around them. And a couple of them did not have the rope wrapped around them, and they were just about worn through. But all of those saddles, you could put them on a horse today and ride them. They're that good a quality. And some of these saddles probably dated to the early 1900s. Which brings me to another funny one. The AQHA Museum, they have this quarter horse with a saddle on it,
That you can get up on and have your picture taken.
with steps on both sides.
Yes.
You don't know. You never, ever, ever mount a horse from its right side.
That's a liability. They've got to account for the dumbass factor.
And in case you missed that, she said it's a liability because they have to account for the dumbass factor. Yes, they do, but it just sets my teeth on edge.
No kidding.
Richard, we discussed pickle juice earlier, and Ian decided not to try that today.
Multiple
No,
voices.
Josh, it wasn't a live horse. It was a
It was a fiberglass.
fiberglass model, correctly sized.
The voices from the back room announced that the pickle eating should be a special occasion only.
Yeah, Deeds, that's right. That was, he knew exactly how many he had made, and it was 87 saddles.
Yep.
Well, the Indians did, that's true, but Indians didn't play by the rules. Everybody else did, so.
I don't know where the left side thing comes from. I assume it has something to do with swords. But
Yeah.
don't quote me with that.
Jerry, that could very well be true. I've never ridden anywhere but flatlands, so I never got into that depth
when
of
I
it.
got off and on down in the canyon breaks, I always turned the horse around until the left side was up.
Any part of it, well, I'm going back many years, but part of it was the horses were trained, at least my uncle's horses were trained, to be mounted from the left. And a lot of it was because everybody was carrying guns on their right hip. And Yeah, swords would be another reason.
Actually, they were calling. Apparently, somebody just tried to charge $128.82 on my Amazon account.
Ew.
So now my card is zorched.
Again.
One more time. God dang
Yeah, Nancy. Cavalry thing. Like I said, Indians didn't play by the rules, the same rules everybody else did.
it. Didn't have saddles either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume it's a sword thing, but it's got beaten in my head. You mount the left side. I can't mount a horse any other way.
Well, the sword would be on the left side because most people were drawing right in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
128.82 at Amazon Prime with my card. No, I didn't. Thank you. I love my bank.
Yeah. It's that time of year. Continued.
Morons.
Yeah. Oh. But there are, there are a number of lessons that you can learn just from the walking through a museum and the things that they have, especially the older things.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's, well, we invented this and this is, the best thing since sliced bread for an oven and this and that and the other. They had a gas range probably dated to the 1920s. Jonna? No, never mind. 1920s, 1930s. That had burners that you could move underneath the flat top. And another one had the oven open. It was a Royal gas stove that inside the cover of the oven was different temperatures, what you could cook at those temperatures and for how long. So basically a cookbook in the oven.
Instructions.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids have an limited attention span. Yes, they do.
Richard, all the inches.
Yeah.
That gets into math, and I can't help you.
Yeah. 0.05. That's going to obscure about,
Don't give me a line.
Oh hell, I'd have to go back and do the math the hard way.
Nope. Math. 1 + 1 2.
Yeah, there were a couple of ranges I would have been more than happy to pull out of there and put in my house. I think it's 1 MOA. It's going to be around 1 MOA at 1,000 yards. Yeah, Peter.
If only somebody had access to some total human knowledge in the palm of his hand. Hang on a sec.
Yeah. 71 consecutive bulls at 1,000 yards at age 61. And the issue with George Farr was the rifle that he used was handed to him from the stock of the spares that was there. And
0.05.
Yeah, 0.05. So that was literally a one-of-a-kind rifle in a perfect situation. And his competitors actually bought him that rifle. They pooled their money and bought him that rifle and presented it to him. Yeah, the first one he tried out malfunctioned, but that was literally a rifle off the rack at NRA at Camp Perry. And it was a cool story, yes.
Okay, let's see here. Mathematics for precision shooters. Nope.
No, he did not come in second. He won it. Nobody could beat him. All right, hang on. We're going to have to do math here.
I put mills nowhere in this at all. And all it's giving me is MOAs and mills. What the hell? Nope, I'm out.
Start talking.
I'm not. Nope. So we had a good time. Amarillo is dry. Um, and the weather was West Texas normal, which meant we were freezing our tuckuses off in the morning and wearing um, light shirts in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, but Amarillo really is my favorite town. It's foodie. It's old enough that it's got some character to it, but it doesn't take itself seriously. Um, Rita showed Jonna some of Stanley Three's little signs, and we went by the legs of Ramses and all the, some of the kooky stuff. We did take her to Floating Mesa or the Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's old enough that it's got character, but still doesn't take itself seriously. And if there used to be this great little Afghani restaurant in Amarillo, and apparently it's not there anymore, which really gives me a sad. But there's everything. There's Mediterranean food, and believe it or not, you can get pretty decent seafood in Amarillo. Usually, of the mind that you don't eat seafood more than 500 miles from the sea, but I've had some pretty decent seafood in Amarillo. Not bad at all. Did Stanley 3 finally kick the bucket? RK?
He's dead.
Him dead. Okay. So I'm guessing that a whole bunch of the stuff he did. Hello, Mr. Bellman.
Hello.
I'm going to guess a whole bunch of the stuff that he did is going to start falling into decay. But I said, Amarillo is except for the hippie infestation.
I won't
Hopefully,
forget you today.
Okay.
hopefully they're keeping the hippies on 6th Street, because a lot of things gelled while I was standing there looking at places I'd bled. I don't like hippies, and I've known that for a long time. And I finally realized I don't like hippies because they're hypocrites. They really are.
That's what hippie is short for.
Apparently, hippie is short for hypocrite, according to John. They're hypocritical. They're all about the peace, love, and joy without going for the obligations, responsibilities that peace, love, and joy bring about. They're all about somebody else doing stuff for the good of people, but free bathroom, nah.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of killing joy.
And Rita's being snarky. When I talk about hippies these days, I'm talking proggies. I don't have a lot of problems with the old school hippies. Matter of fact, a lot of the old school hippies showed up in West Texas law enforcement, believe it or not. There was a chief deputy out in the Panhandle that whenever the Peace Farm across in Pantex would have their mass rally slash civilized riot, he'd be out there on the mutual aid, stopping the hippies from coming into Pantex on duty, and then off duty he'd be there with his tie-dye T-shirt, drinking coffee and chatting with them. Old school hippie. I liked him. That modern proggies are cancer. They espouse a philosophy they don't follow. They're all about inclusion until you're not one of them, and then we're going to include everybody except you, which is not inclusion. They're all about freedom of speech and freedom of thought as long as you say and think the right things, which is not freedom of speech or freedom of thought. The reason we have a First Amendment, the right to free speech, is to protect speech nobody wants to hear. Speech that is uncontroversial and everybody agrees with needs no protection, folks. Every time somebody says that free speech isn't absolute, it should be. There is no speech that everybody agrees with and that everybody accepts needs protecting. It's the speech that nobody agrees with, that inflames the masses, that needs protecting.
The answer is 5 inches at 1,000 yards.
Is that it?
For a .05 front sight width.
No,
Yes, it is.
5 inches on the target. And if that,
Yeah. For a .05 front sight width. Yes, the 60s hippies also stunk. I had the pleasure, quote unquote, in the early 70s of going up to Haight-Ashbury.
ooh,
And yeah, they stunk. They might have been cute, but I was not going to touch that.
Rita has a fondness for patchouli, for perfumes with patchouli in them.
No.
And she says there's 2 varieties of patchouli.
Yeah.
There's good patchouli and there's manky hippie patchouli. And apparently, the manky hippie patchouli is not the good stuff.
But that's the only thing that brings back anytime I smell that is the manky hippies.
Sean, I was thinking flamethrower, but I like the way you think. No, that's swamp dirt no matter what.
Oh, DW, yeah, we've been watching that one. Washington State's Governor Inslee wants to make it a crime to lie about an election. That would take most of the politicians out.
You're teaching Nigerian Army troops. Boy, did you miss out having fun. Yeah, teaching and bribing, either one.
Yeah.
Bribing Nigerian Army troops is always fun. You'd be shocked,
Yeah.
depending on the political climate, what you would get with $100 and a Playboy and a bottle of White Horse whiskey.
Yeah, Cedar, that may be true, but you also have to understand that most of these kids that were out there were spending what little they had on grass and Cheetos.
Well, not only that, but having worked 6th Street, the patchouli is that everybody knows that they're marinating in patchouli to cover up the smell of marijuana.
Yeah.
So the patchouli that most hippies that y'all are familiar with, emanating from the pores of most hippies, has a strong base note of skunkweed.
Yeah. Oh, Peter, ATF is going to SHOT Show like Planned Parenthood going to moon show.
Oh, speaking of SHOT Show, FN's come out with a new high power.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
they're doing my bank account a bad.
Well, at least your card's canceled for now, so you can't do anything.
Right, so I can't hit the FN website for an updated firepower.
Yeah. Take cedar, balsam fir, and sandalwood. Yes.
I love sandalwood. Shade their sandalwood base for their shaving kit is my absolute favorite sandalwood of all time.
Oh God, yes, Nancy. Clove cigarettes. That was. Oh. I smoke and I couldn't stand those damn things.
Well, Peter, the Springfield is running 500 MSRP, and apparently the FN's running 1,200 MSRP. So you're definitely right there.
Yeah. Yeah, Gersan is jumping into it too.
FN either stole a note or learned from Springfield Armory, and it's an updated, improved high power. No, that idiot magazine disconnect's gone.
Yeah.
It's got true ambidextrous controls. No, it's damn.
That's the only thing I need to change on mine is that damn safety.
Oh, and a proper beaver tail so it doesn't bite you every time you pull the trigger.
Yeah, you just got to learn how to shoot it. I have the scars to prove it.
Much like SLRs, FALs, I have a soft spot in my heart for Browning high powers that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't spend that money for a Turkish gun either, Peter. Gersan is made in Turkey. They do make some interesting guns, shotguns, among others. But every time I see Turkey, I can't help but think about the mountains over there in the Afghans.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering how many of those Afghans are subcontractors to the Turks, because they're right next door to each other. Nah.
Turks, I have a love-hate relationship with the Turks. I love their food.
Yeah.
I like good Turks. There's a crap ton of bad Turks, and I really don't like them. They're almost as bad as the Bulgarians, and I have a screaming hate for the Bulgarians. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
and and I apologize, Peter. I forgot. Peter Nealon, who's on here, also has a new book out.
Oh,
another continuation in the Brannigan's Black Hearts series. Peter is a damn good author. And
if you like spot reps, buy his stuff. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Bacaw Valley.
Yeah. Yeah, Bacaw Valley High Power. Shoots once, guaranteed. But Peter is a damn good author.
Shoots over incoming prowlers.
Yeah. He knows of which he writes. I'll just leave it at that.
If you like spot reps, you'll love his work.
Yeah.
Bacaw
Valley High Power. Oh, God. It'd probably be a damn Martini Henry copy.
Oh, speaking of big explosions, Martini Henry.
Yeah.
Has anybody been tracking the underwater explosion in the Pacific?
Oh, yes.
From the amount of steam that went in the air, I had to hang on to your britches, folks. We're in a pretty firm and solid solar minimum, and it looks like volcanic activity. And if you follow geologic climate data, increasing volcanic activity tends to presage a dip into an ice age.
Yeah. And that is the Ring of Fire, as the Pacific is known.
Speaking of dipping into ice age and things being not available, the truckers' vaccination mandate went into effect today.
Oh, boy.
So go fill your shelves.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, God damn it. All right.
And the airlines are squawking about the, what was it? What is it? The five, what's it called? Not technical.
5 what?
5G.
Oh, yes. Oh,
with,
yes.
with
Oh,
flights.
yes. Oh, yes.
So,
What?
5G screws up landing aids. In specific, the radar altimeter that they use when they're coming in to land.
Nobody checked for this?
They checked.
The airline's been screening for a year.
They've been trying to fight it for over a year. And yeah.
Dart.
So there are certain airports where they're not allowing 5G anywhere near. Certain airports.
Buffy checking her Instagram is going to yard dart a Airbus.
Yeah.
Good God.
Or they'll be doing it from first class right over the fucking antenna. Pardon my French.
I think, remember the old DC-10 joke?
Yeah.
I think I can. Shit.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, the shockwave from the Tonga eruption was massive. It was caught on satellite, real time.
Whoa, that's impressive.
Heard in Alaska.
Apparently, the report was heard in Alaska, according to Rita.
And the wave front that hit the west coast was 2.7 feet. So it went halfway around the world and hit the west coast with 2.7 feet.
I said the visuals are impressive. The noise is impressive.
Yeah.
The water attempting to scrub California clean is impressive.
Yeah.
However, what I'm interested in is the amount of steam and matter that is now atmospheric.
Yeah. And the interesting part is the Tongans specifically do not want any help. They do not want anybody landing on their territory.
Go forth and send no more. You're on your own.
Well, they're pretty much on their own anyway. But Tonga is the only place in the world that has not had a single case of COVID because nobody leaves.
Or nobody's gotten checked.
Well, they supposedly have been checked, and nobody has.
Horse feathers.
Yeah, yeah, digital. I can imagine. Uh, yeah, media's conditioned everything for a breaking tsunami. That's uh, that's based on what happened in Alaska.
Well, the tsunamis on the big screen are impressive.
Yeah.
But getting to see one up close and personal, you'd think on the TV an actual tsunami is just ho hum.
Yeah.
It's not.
Uh,
Watching one up close and personal, it will change your religious outlook on life.
yeah, go look at the photographs and the videos from Phuket, Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Now that was an actual tsunami. They travel at around 500 miles an hour through the water, and you do not see them in deep water. The only place you see them
It'll get
is
shallow.
when they come shallow, because that wave front has to go somewhere and it goes up. One thing that probably saved Tonga is the fact that they were actually so close. They were really inside the blast radius. Yeah. They do have two small islands that are part of Tonga that they have not been able to get in contact with.
They may not be there anymore.
So they may have been wiped clean.
The interesting things that I've been pointing out from day one,
Yeah.
and caught a lot of hate and discontent for, was I was pretty sure that every COVID test that wound up in the hospital getting tested, there were at least 5 to 9 others that the redneck that had them thought it was a cold, didn't bother, or the flu, didn't bother getting tested, drove on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Tongans think, at least one of them thought he had the flu or the summer cold, drove on, probably had COVID.
Yeah, see, they were only 2.7 feet in Tonga also. Like I said, they were inside the blast front. So there are, no natural source of release. Yeah. Sure, Jesse.
Whatever.
And that thought just went ding.
So, recap. Not doing LTE. Might in the future, but I have to talk to Rita about it. She's a little annoyed. So Tolcon is Tolcon the first con in this cycle?
Yeah.
So if you are a troublemaker who likes to have fun and is not a proggy, you probably I would ask that you come to Tolcon, so that it's in Tulsa. So
Hey,
that
we'll take proggies. We're an equal opportunity offender.
I'm going to need another slapjack. Anyway, Tolcon, and let's go ahead and put our stamp on it. It's the very first one, and I like it to be I would like Tolcon to be known as a rousing, fun-loving convention.
Yeah.
Not one of the dreary, cry into your coffee.
Yeah. And the next one is Fantasy, and then LibertyCon.
Fantasy, FoolsCon, FinCon somewhere in there.
FinCon's in September.
And LibertyCon. That's going to be our cycle for now. And Fantasy is a possible for me.
Nancy, I'll still do a remote if y'all want to, but other than that, I'm out of it. Yeah, Andy Smith and Weston. Yeah.
My pronouns are fuck around and find out.
Smith and Weston reminds me. Funny thing about one of the guns we saw at the museum this weekend was an actual Wesson.
Yeah. Not Smith and Wesson.
Yeah, a Wesson.
Not a Dan Wesson. One of the original Wessons.
A pocket Wesson about that big. It had been used hard.
Oh, it was a gambler's gun. It got used hard.
And somebody had beaten it to hell and gone, but it was an actual Wesson Model 2 as best we can figure. but it was definitely a gambler's pocket gun. And the other one that we got to fondle, it was actually a real gun, not a late model clone, was a Colt pocket pistol, and it was almost as big as this, but no front sight because it was designed to be carried in either a suit pocket or a pants pocket. And one of the things people don't realize is that they did not carry guns in holsters a lot back in the day. The holsters you see in all westerns weren't even invented at that point in time.
No.
The holsters they had either were belt holsters, or they would take a pocket of a jacket or a pocket of the pants, which went straight down,
Line them with leather.
and line them with leather, and that became the holster. So, there again, it's making that sure you know what those things are, and especially if you're a writer and you're writing period correct stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of last minute stuff. Yeah, Nancy understood. Y'all are kind of stuck on the West Coast due to time constraints and other things, but we do wish you could get back in this part of the country.
That particular costume went out for cleaning.
Yeah.
And suffered a tragic and terrible accident.
Yeah, it did have one of the drop down triggers, Nancy.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't dropping down because it had been used or not put up well.
Yeah. At least 2 of the tits had been replaced. And what else? What surprised me was the latch still worked.
Yeah.
Because usually, for those that know what a dragoon is, it's good. So it's got the latch up in front under the barrel that releases and drops down. And that latch is usually the first thing that breaks. This one actually works.
Still works.
Yeah.
So, any recaps? Mad at LTE.
Yeah.
Everybody's got books coming out. Buy the books.
Yeah.
Support your local starving authors, or even not local starving authors.
Yeah. We all need money.
Yeah, we all need money. What else have we got?
Dave Freer is a friend. He is also South African, expatriate South African, like Peter, except he went to New Zealand and then went further off the coast of New Zealand.
Australia.
Huh?
I thought Australia.
Off New Zealand, Australia. It's a small island down there.
In that area.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right, Peter. The latch got added because of Walker's kept having the rod drop under recoil.
Mm-hmm.
Dave is a brilliant author. He writes a wide selection of books. Flinders Island. Yes, thank you. I don't know why that was just, when I started talking about that, it was like zing.
Pacific's not my area of operations, folks. I don't know a damn thing about the Pacific. I really don't care. Other than the fact that they're a whacking great volcano dumping a crap ton of CO2 and steam into the air.
Yeah, it's another volcano. It's the Ring of Fire. They have more volcanic activity out there than most people ever know.
Well, Nancy.
Yeah, that takes us.
Define hot.
Yeah, takes us right out of the picture.
Define hot.
Yeah, ash to block out more sunlight and accelerate cooling. Yeah, that was one of the stunning pictures that I saw this morning. Was the amount of ash covering everything in Tonga. It looked like a black and white picture, but it wasn't. It was in color.
The sunsets are liable to be really spectacular there for a while.
Yeah.
Hot, over 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never mind. Don't move to Texas.
Love to have you here. You get used to it.
Yeah. It's still smaller than Krakatoa, yes.
The blow up I'm not interested in. The amount, it's still producing ejecta. It's still producing CO2, ash, and steam because it's underwater. So steam. Ooh,
Yeah.
but there's a bunch of parboiled fish out there.
Oh yeah.
And steam interests me. Steam in the atmosphere interests me. Like Peter said, the ash is also interesting, but the steam and CO2 are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly, when'd you
Hey,
show up?
Holly. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. White tons. Yeah.
You get used to
Yeah,
it.
Nancy. If somebody from Alaska, i.e., Dot, can get used to it,
You're gonna be fine.
you got to come visit and see.
Rules gone.
Yeah. Nancy Fry and her husband are a hoot. Way smaller than 1815, thankfully.
For now. Again, it's an ongoing eruption, still done. And Krakatoa was above water.
Yeah.
This is the interesting part people aren't getting. The steam.
It's not that much steam. That's actually what it is doing, is containing most of the ejecta, is never getting in the air. What you're
Okay.
seeing is a small percentage of it.
Okay.
Yes, Peter, elk season. Yeah, you can afford to go shoot it because you're local, unlike us.
Man, we need to get to Nebraska and have a whack at some of those whitetails up there.
Yeah. All right, folks, we've wasted another hour of your
Holy
time.
crap, we have.
Sorry for.
What?
Can I tell a dirty joke?
Sure.
Tell a dirty joke. Uh-oh. Run.
Well,
Hang on, we have a dirty joke coming.
it's actually a Confucius thing. Has Confucius been canceled? Anyway, maybe several levels of profanity. Sorry if this is offensive, because
Trust me, they're not gonna.
it was my dad's favorite joke, and I always cringed when he said it, so I thought I'd repeat it. It's Confucius say, "Lady who fly plane upside down have nasty crack up."
Oh, Rita. That's your dad. And on that note, Jesus. All right, folks. We'll do this again Thursday.
Thursday at 3 o'clock, guys.
We do appreciate the chat. It was today, just never even approached the rails. We were gone from the get-go.
As we go along, more and more. Rails?
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. Anyway, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Be safe, guys.
Be safe and patronize your local grocery stores. It may be a problem.
Yeah. I didn't realize the trucker vaccine mandate was still going ahead.
Yeah. We'll see you Thursday.
Dumbasses.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.